Guess what I found today? I cycled to a spa. It was pouring with rain, but I was working on the pages that I was doing. Those two singers, the multicultural scissor singers, and the other one. And I finished literally just at dead o'clock or 4 o'clock, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to. The buses aren't very frequent, and they're always late, and they don't run on time. And even though it was pouring down with rain, I would have liked to go, but I don't believe that I would have got there within half an hour if I couldn't have got them in half an hour. It's annoying though because as I was cycling, there was actually a bus, unusually. But yeah, I know it's slower and it's weird because even though I went round there. So if I would have left the house at the same time, I would have missed the bus because I would have just missed it. But I actually caught up with the bus on my bike, and then because there was all traffic down this particular road, I actually went. I cycled much faster than the bus basically. So I got there faster than the bus, even though it's pouring down rain. And when I got to the tram, again, there was another tram that I was like cycling in front of, and I was again faster than the tram the whole time. But I know that if I would have gone by bus, I wouldn't have been able to make that tram, hence I would have been the next one, hence I would have been late. But anyway, as I was cycling, I came across this. It's like a gigantic umbrella. It was basically open. I'll show you how big it is. It was a very windy, wet day, and it's a gigantic thing. I don't know. It's just like a massive. I don't know. Open up here, but it's a massive umbrella, and it was literally because it was open. It was flying everywhere around the wind, and then when the tram came, it kind of went straight into the tram, and it looked like it was about to be run over. And I was kind of worried, like, is it going to like derail the tram or whatever? Because it's got a pretty stern. I don't know. It's a pretty strong umbrella, and it belongs to HSBC Bank. I might return it. I will definitely return it if I go to America. But I might keep it. Just because. But yeah, anyway, I went to go and close it. I want to close it because it was obvious that it was just going to fly around the road. Plus, it was over on this bridge. There was like this huge bridge there. It looked like it was about to just sort of blow over because it was wide open. It looked like it was going to blow onto this fast-flowing road as well. So that could have caused some damage. So I closed it. And it's only after I closed it did I realise that no one was like chasing after it or anything. So yeah, I don't know whose it was, but no one looked like they were claiming it. So I did. But yeah, I know where to return it to because it says HSBC on it. But it looks like a very good umbrella. It's a very big one, but we'll see. We'll see. What else? I was thinking about multiculturalism today because what does multiculturalism actually mean? Because technically that could mean many things. You know, if you type in what type of culture, what types of cold, and by the way, my cold is actually gone. I was feeling bad this morning, but around 4 or 5 o'clock, it actually kind of disappeared. And I was realizing in the spa that the headaches had actually gone, so that's quite good. But yeah, and my blocked nose as well is gone. So yes, but there's a few types of culture on Google. It kind of comes up with like folk culture, low culture, popular culture, subculture, youth culture, global culture, you know, high culture, consumer culture. Like I don't really know what a lot of those things are. Like global culture, I mean, what is global culture? I mean, is that just like a globalist, there should be no borders kind of thing, you know? I mean, I kind of agree with that culture. I like that culture, but not considering there are some really dangerous, bad people who would literally chop your head off for saying something bad about Muhammad or something. You know, with those sorts of people, you can't have a global culture. I want to have a global culture, but you have to have people with a similar mindset, similar beliefs, similar everything. Youth culture. Well, that could mean a lot of things. You know, youth these days seem to like smoking and just getting drunk and selling drugs to 12-year-olds or something. You know, that's the youth culture today seems to be so much more vile than what it was 10 years ago. Consumer culture, I mean, that could just mean just spend your money on shit and take out more loans so you can buy more shit and then, you know, never pay it back and then try and get off that. I mean, consumer culture can have some good and bad things. Popular culture, you know, so this is what, when you think multiculturalism, most people, I guess, would kind of think think about that folk culture, like the dancing and stuff. But I think there's also, when you think about it in religious terms, Islamic culture. Well, what is Islamic culture? Islamic culture is a culture that's kind of based around the life and lifestyle of Muhammad, and therefore, and the Hindu culture. What was the Hindu culture? It's kind of based, a lot of it could be based on the gods, the elephant god, or something like that. The beliefs and traditions of all the Islamic or the Hindu gods, and what other kind of cultures are that? Well, the Christian culture, I guess, is kind of based around Jesus, but I'm not Jesus. So yeah, I think when it comes to multiculturalism, it can be packaged like what Google is packaging it is. Oh, multicultural, that means folk culture, popular culture, low culture, global culture, consumer culture. But it's not. The multiculturalism that's taking over Europe, this isn't high culture, global culture, consumer culture. No, this is Islamic culture. This is Hindu culture. It's third world culture. It's shantytown culture. It's I don't even know the types of cultures that there are, but lazy culture. I think scribble on anything you can find culture, not give a shit about other people's life culture. I don't know. This seems to be the culture that's taking over. So I it's like on one hand I want to say I support multiculturalism, but on the other hand I don't, because I don't support Muhammad and his way of life. I don't support Jesus and his way of life. I don't support the Hindu gods and their way of life. I don't support the I don't think humans should be having kids if they can't afford to look after them, if they can't keep them safe, if they can't give them a good life. In the olden days in England, only the rich could have a kid. Only the people that had a big mansion could have a kid. Servants, slaves, they weren't allowed to have partners. They weren't allowed to have kids unless the owner approved it and was happy to take on, their kids. And their kids would basically grow into the family to be servants of the household. That's how it worked before. England had a history of making sure that kids that got born were born only if the household allowed it, and now it's just completely gone exactly opposite. We're the culture that we have now is nothing like the culture that built England, and yeah, so I think there's definitely a difference between multicultural and multiracial. Multiracial is simply by race. It doesn't matter what race you are. But multiculturalism, that can include so many different things. And if multiculturalism means including Islam, then I am completely against multiculturalism. So I think that's what I want to do. Right, I'm going to write a page about multiculturalism, and then compare it to multiracial, which is a very different thing. And yes, got a necklace, yin and yang, pink. Need to put something in it. I haven't got anything in it yet. I'm eating my pumpkin as well. My mum bought me a giant pumpkin. I didn't actually ask her. I didn't want it. I was cooking it yesterday. I heard you're supposed to boil it you're supposed to boil onions and pumpkin in a pan, and then kind of chop it up, and then stir it up in a mixer, and then you've got your soup. And that's what I was planning on doing. But I noticed how tasty it looked when the pumpkin pieces were with this sort of onion sauce. So I just ate it with a sausage roll. And but it's weird because even though pumpkin is very much like a potato, I would so much rather eat a potato than a pumpkin. Like I can't explain why a potato is so much better than a pumpkin. A pumpkin's kind of sweeter, so you'd kind of think that it tastes nicer and stuff. But I don't know. You can eat a lot of potatoes or chips and still want more. Whereas I feel like if you eat pumpkin, you kind of don't want any more. You eat a little bit and then you feel full. So I had half of it, and then I this today managed to actually get round to blending it and making the pumpkin soup. Had it with some garlic breads things, and after eating half of it, I added a bit more to it, and there was a bit more pumpkin that I added, but I could only eat half of it. and now I'm full, and I don't actually want to eat anything. So I'm going on a diet. I found out that I was 8.5 stone again. I hate being. I need to get down to 8 stone, and so I'm going on a diet to try and get back down to 8 stone. Um, and I'll do it. But yeah, I've still got most of that pumpkin left. I've had 2 meals out of it. I've got a whole nother soup to eat, and I've still only touched like probably a quarter, maybe less. I think I've still got less than I've only eaten less than a quarter. I think my parents are going to come this weekend, so no, next weekend, but it'll probably be mouldy by then, so I don't know. I wish I hadn't bought it with me, because I'm not going to be able to eat all of this. What else to say?